Despicable Me released in 2010. I feel old. It paved the way for Illumination to distribute 3 more movies in the franchise, and they got progressively worse, but that's not the focus today. Despicable Me changed the animation game for comedic relief characters with these funky yellow guys forever. So sit back, relax, we're gonna go through the good, the bad, and more the ugly of the original Despicable Me movie. We're gonna use our normal rating system for this, which is, if you didn't know already, it'll be the characters, the score, the ending, the cinematography, and the acting of the movie. But first, let's talk about the movie itself. The movie opens with Sweet Home Alabama, playing homage to the fact that Gru was given birth to by 2 cousins. Yes, I'm not kidding, it's on the family tree. We start the movie with some ginger kid who basically flattens a pyramid that had been replaced there. There's not really much more to say than that. We then move on to Gru in a park. He's ruined some child's day, brutally shoots up a coffee shop, takes the coffee. Gru basically then goes to his house with the cookie and the drink. He gets his hand bitten off by his dog brutally. Anyway, Dr. Nefario, who is, this British guy, he basically shows up on the TV, basically says, yeah, mate, it's time. He hops in the lift, descends. And then we meet these things for the first time. The things that would grace animation and change it forever. The Minions. Now, the Minions are good in this movie because there's not too many of them. They're alright. But we'll talk about them more later on. Gru goes down, you see these funky guys, they basically have a whole civilization down here. And Gru is hella evil. Like, he stole some iconic landmarks, but from, like, gift shops and not the actual real ones. Yeah, you suck, bro. But he has the most elaborate plan of them all. To steal the moon. Yes, the moon. To ruin Earth's gravitational pull and surely send it into complete chaos. Yes, this guy is fucking evil. The Minions love this plan so much that they actually start brutally murdering each other. Yes, this happens. Anyway, once the moon heist is done, we are introduced to the shrink ray. And Gru just says, the bank will fund it. Gru is already in hella debt. Gru is already a brokey. And that is something that we would figure out in a minute. But first, we meet the girls, who are orphans. They have some, like, horrible orphanage owner lady who thinks they're trash and doesn't like them. So she's basically the Discord admin of this area. She doesn't like them. She basically just ruins their lives and makes it hell. Anyway, the next day, these girls pay a visit to Gru, who basically says he's not home. They don't believe him. They try to sell him cookies. They fail. Gru then goes to the bank, where he is in hella debt, and Mr. Perkins doesn't like him. But first, he meets Vector. And this is where we are treated to probably one of the most golden lines in animation.
Primes, with both direction and magnitude. Oh yeah!
Yeah, that's cool. Anyway, he goes up to Mr. Perkins, says, give me money. Mr. Perkins says, no, you're in debt, you're trash. There's new villains that are younger and hungrier than you. Yeah, this doesn't add up. Now, you could say I'm stealing from Shea Freelas here, but I completely agree. This is what we like to call in this community the Vector Skinwalker theory. How in Minions Rise of Gru is there the same picture about Vector as a kid when Gru was a kid, then Mr. Perkins says that Vector is younger than Gru? It doesn't add up. So in turn, Mr. Perkins is cloning Vector. That's what's going on here, and using different versions of him to be evil. Anyway, Gru gets angry because Vector is the one that basically didn't allow him to get the money. He shoots him in the lobby, kills him. Wrong script.
What?
He freezes him with a freeze ray we saw right at the start of the movie, then leaves and goes to steal the shrink ray, which he does, and then fails because Vector's angry and takes it back and steals it, so that's not good. Gru, in an attempt to steal the shrink ray back, gets absolutely clapped because he is a bronze rank and Vector is like high GM. Anyway, Vector just beats Gru over and over again until Gru sees the girls again, and then decides he's going to use them. So he pulls up to the orphanage, claims to be a dentist with no certificates, The minions do minion shenanigans and basically screw him over nearly. But then he takes the girls back to his house and they start living their best life there. Yes, this was pretty epic for them. Vector has the shrink ray. He's now going to steal the moon because Mr. Perkins was like, yep, we're in Gru's plan. We move on to the next day where the plan is set in motion, where Gru has created the cookie robots. And this is where we're treated to the fart gun scene. Oh my god, I remember seeing this scene as a kid. This was just so funny. I don't know why I'm laughing at this now. I am nearly in my 20s. This is bad. Anyway, the fart gun scene happens. Dr. Nefario creates dancing cookie robots, which is not what Gru wanted, but then creates the right ones and then everything is fine. Edith then brutally assaults an elderly man. Yes, a senile old man becomes victim to assault by a 5-year-old. Anyway, the movie continues with the cookie robots inside the boxes. They don't know that. Anyway, they give them to Vector. The cookie robots sneak into the lair, steal the shrink ray, and then leave. So Gru is back in possession of the shrink ray. Epic. Vector gets mad, realizes it's gone. They go to Super Silly Funland? I think that's the name of the place. Anyway, everyone went to go here as a kid. There's some like hella fast roller coaster they go on. Gru kills some store owner guy to get Agnes a unicorn. This scene was pretty wholesome and epic. Anyway, you slowly see him start to become a better father and a better role model for the girls, until Dr. Nefario calls back the orphanage lady to make them orphans again because they'd served their purpose. We get treated to Gru's family tree. This is what I was talking about earlier. According to the family tree, he is the birth product of 2 cousins, one of which is a werewolf. So Gru, in turn, is the result of incest and could be a werewolf, which is why you see him do some super sick backflips, I guess, later on. Gru steals the moon, but Vector has stolen the girls. Oh no. Anyway, Gru, being the super nice guy he is, goes to free the girls, gets into a pretty epic fight, does some insane backflips, low diffs a shark. Vector then pisses off. Then Gru chases him down in like the car, but now it's flying. I don't know what's going on here. Gru tricks Margot into thinking that she's going to make the jump and just lets her fall to her death. I'm sure you've seen this clip many times. And the movie ends with this incredible dancing scene. Anyway, that was Despicable Me. Now, the normal ranking as follows. So, how would I think the acting in this movie is? Well, if I'm honest with you, I think the acting in this movie is just iconic. You have to give it an 8 because of the Steve Carell performance on Gru. Surely for that, because how iconic that is in itself. Incredible. The cinematography at its time wasn't bad. I would give it a 7 because it's still nothing mind-blowing animation-wise. It's just not bad either. So I think 7 is perfect. The ending is also an 8. It's just a really satisfying conclusion to a movie. I remember being really satisfied as a kid seeing this. So an 8 out of 10 for me is perfect because it kind of just ties the story over really well. The score of the movie is pretty fire. It can get a 7 because it's nothing bad, but it's nothing outstanding. And the characters, just for the sheer iconicness, can also get a 7. So when you calculate all of the scores for the movie across the whole thing, the movie scores in at a 7.4 out of 10, which is the second highest movie that I've reviewed with this score. I do think the Lego Batman movie is better than it, personally. Let me know what you guys think. But for me, Despicable Me changed, and this is what I was going to talk about. Despicable Me changed animation characters in the respect that the Minions really just drove this need for animated movies to include comic relief. Now, yes, I know that Despicable Me did not invent this. I know that it did not by any stretch of the imagination. But when you look at like how movies used characters after the Minions, I think you can make a case for the fact that Despicable Me definitely drove that. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Like and subscribe if you're new here. It really helped me out. Thank you so much.